You guys, it's yet another video of consistency. Um, um, Today was, I don't know how to explain. Um, I can say it's a good day and I can say it's a bad day at the same time, but overall the experience was good. So, um, so I would say it was a good day. And there were things that I learned, another things that I learned, and it was all about manipulation to my brain itself. What fear is, how do you experience fear? I wouldn't say how. Maybe there are things that I can say. How do I experience fear as well, and how to overcome it as well at the same time? Maybe I don't know, but yeah, let's go through my day. So the plan for today was I was gonna go to Bendigo, do some cycling over there, and it was actually the plan. Like from yesterday when I slept, I actually had the plan that I'm gonna do this, and in the morning as well. I woke up around 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, I checked what time I'm gonna reach Bendigo, and did I do it or not? I'm not sure if I did it. Yep, I think I did it. I did check what time I'm gonna reach Bendigo if I leave my house at 10 o'clock. So I actually had a plan of going there by train, and the going through the train was actually the plan for Bendigo. So, but shit happens in life, and shit happened to me as well at the same time. I went in there. I mean, 8 o'clock I woke up, and 9 o'clock I was still sleeping and had some doubt should I go or not. But even after that, I was still planning to go for it. So I checked the ticket, how much it's gonna cost, how I'm gonna pay for it, and stuff like that. But while I was checking the ticket for Beeline, I could see the ticket for Beeline, but at the same time I could see another warning, and the warning says Beeline trains has been cancelled due to bus fire, and there's no train to Bendigo. And I was like, okay, fuck, now shit, and now I have to go through car. So another plan I got up was I'm gonna go through car, and I'm checking. I'm checking my friend. He calls me, where am I and stuff. Oh, I did call him? I'm not sure, but yeah, through having some conversation, and I told him if I'm gonna come in there or not, and I was in a doubt. So because the car, I did have some tire valve cap implanted in the tire, but still I was still dodgy with this car if it can go up to Bendigo or not. So I decided not to today, and it wouldn't be a good decision to go at Bendigo and cycling. The main thing was I wanted to do cycling. If I couldn't do cycling, then it was no point. Though I'm explaining this stuff, I'm making excuses, but at the same time I didn't feel like it would be a very very good idea to go today, especially with this heat wave. And so I made another decision, which is Sunday. I checked the temperature for Sunday, was good, the weather was good, and I could even hire a bicycle at that day. I don't know if the stupa gonna be open or not, but I feel like I made a very very good decision by not going today. And so after that, I was playing game, and I got a text about my shoes that was gonna come today, and I waited for that. After that, I called my friend, I'm gonna come in there, and wait for my shoes. Shoe came in, checked my shoes, became happy. As soon as the shoe came in, I started to put the laces on, and then after finishing it, I went to my friend. And while I was going to my friend's house, there were so many things that came into my mind. If like what's the mindset for me into his mind and stuff like that. So many things that came to my head, and it became clear. Like there were so many things that became clear, which is very hard to accept. Like he doesn't care about my opinion. He doesn't care what I made a decision, and the most important thing, he doesn't want to live with me. And there are so many factors that could happen to be the reason for that. Maybe he's not sincere. And there are so many things that I don't want to discuss about it, because even I myself have so many impulsive thoughts about so many things. So I do accept that I am unsafe for anyone. Anyone who, if a woman wants to be with me, or anyone if I go with a woman wherever I go, I am certain that these people are not gonna feel safe around me, because I do some very very weird stuff. So yeah, and when I went in there, I realized that what his decision and what are his mindset around me. So I had to accept it and I had to move on from that. I can't take it as an ego and decide to do nothing for him, because he's still my friend. I do what I can do is I still can limit him from many things that I do give him. And now he clearly showed me that there are things that he doesn't care about. Now I need to make those decisions. So after these plans, there are things that I can change for him as well. And after that, I'm gonna end up alone by myself. There will be no friends, there will be no companionship, and wherever I go, I have to go by myself. But that's alright, because I have already made the decision for that as well. And this is a curse that I have been born with, the overthinking curse. At the same time, it's a good thing, because I could plan so many things already. But at the same time, because I didn't go to Bendigo today, there were so many thoughts that came to me. Like even though I planned it, like I'm gonna go Sunday, but it was like I was hurting myself, and I felt so bad for that. I can't explain how it felt, but it felt pretty bad. So this is one thing that I have to improve, and I have to keep my head off. And what happened after that are pretty crazy. Like after that, I went to my friend's house, teach him how to drive, teach him how to do the things. And after that, we went to pool, played some pool, and I actually had good win today, which I felt happy about. And teach him how to drive again. And after that, we came home. After that, we decided to go to beach. We decided to go to Point Ormond, but after we go to Point Ormond, we went to the Luna Park, the park where we can have fun. So we went to the park, and after, there were so many things that we do, power surge and all this kind of, which was, to be honest, it were very scary. But the first thing I did was, I just when we went upstairs and when things began to happen, I told myself that I have already done skydive, and I began to limit my fear. Like this is not scary. I began to feel when I told myself that it's not scary, and I felt like I'm gonna face it. Even though all of my body were shaky, I was like still in there. Like, I'm not gonna be scared or something like that. But because I was telling myself that I'm not gonna be scared or I'm not feeling scared. Although all of my body were shaking, my heartbeat was racing, there were no fear in my face. But we went to this place, which is another one, and at that when it this was the time where I had to put my force in my foot, force in my leg and everywhere, and I felt like if I leave it here, I would get down. And so the fear wasn't for anything; it was of the worst case scenario that could happen, which is maybe I'm gonna die. The fear came from one thing. The only thing was if if something happens to this, I'm gonna die. And when I wasn't feeling fear, it was I was I was sure like this is not gonna fall. This is tied to it, so I'm not gonna fall anyway. So because of that, I actually told myself that I'm not feeling any fear. And when we went in there, I began to feel fear of falling down and stuff because there was no seatbelt or anything for me. And after that, we went to another thing, which was the thing of was pendulum. Even pendulum, it wasn't that much scary because it was full thing that covered me, and I was actually safe. But we went to the other the ride, the ferry ride. The ferry ride was a bit scary, but I was able to limit myself because I was able to feel safe on that as well. So after a few times, I began to feel less fear. But again, we went to this space thing. I don't know what it is, but this was the second time that we did it. When we went in there, it was like when it started, I actually was not feeling any fear for the first time. Like when it went halfway, there was no fear in my mind, there was no fear in my brain, and I wasn't even shouting or feeling any kind of fear because I was telling myself that this thing I have already done, so I'm safe. But as soon as I started shouting myself, that telling, oh, it's gonna be scary, or I was pretending that it would be scary. But when I started to tell myself that, oh, it's scary, and I started shouting, it actually began to feel scary, and I started to feel fear again. So I realized that the point of all of this was fear come from one thing, and that one thing is when we tell ourselves that it is scary. If we tell ourselves that it's safe, so I can do it, or I can overcome this, I can handle this, then it's not going to be scary. But if we tell us that maybe this is the worst case scenario that could happen, or believing that the worst case scenario could happen, or even thinking of that worst case scenario and preparing ourselves, that's going to cost us fear. But if we just whatever overthinking that comes into your head or into my or anyone's head, if we tell ourselves that nah, it's going to happen because it is safe for a lot of people, it is safe for everyone, then the fear is going to go away by itself. That was the one thing that I realized today. And after that, then I drove him and let him drive again, went home, teach him some stuff. And actually the Luna Park thing as well, there's one thing about this Luna Park, because before when I told him that let's go to Point Ormond, there was one thing in my brain. I could say it is manifestation, or I don't know how it went, but when I told him that Point Ormond, I actually was feeling that maybe let's go to Luna Park. But I didn't tell them let's go to Luna Park, but there was in my mind that I should tell them Luna Park. but instead I told them Point Ormond. But when we were very very near to Point Ormond, I told them, oh, Luna Park is open, let's go to Luna Park. And we were able to execute that plan. I don't know how would this happen, but the thought came into my brain and I actually executed, and it went pretty well. And yeah, that was all. After that, I dropped them home, teach them a bit more about cars, how to drive. Coming home, fantasy and stuff is still in my head. The fantasies are not going off. Being rational is one thing that I've been focusing on. So I don't know how this is gonna be, or how I'm gonna focus on myself. But yeah, this was one thing that I've been focused on. And I came home now. I checked my time, it's already 12 o'clock, and I wasn't able to go gym because I'm gonna go be working tomorrow in the early morning, and 5 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep is not gonna be enough for me. So I decided that I will do some exercise in my home. I'll eat my food, then I'm gonna go to sleep. Maybe I'll play some game as well. So yeah, that was the decision I made. Anyway, everything I did today was pretty fun. There were things, even there were the regrets. I was able to move on from that, and yeah, after that everything went well. I'm grateful for the day, grateful for the experience. It was pretty fun. Tomorrow things gonna be another hurdle, but I have got a plan. I don't know if this plan could work, but I'm gonna execute that plan and let's see what happens. Anyway, that was all for today. Happy that everything went well, happy about the lesson, grateful for the lesson, grateful for everything, grateful for the experience as well. I don't know how the day is gonna be tomorrow, but let's hope it would be the best, or I'm gonna make it the best. So see you tomorrow.